Nike once paid a rookie who hadn't played a single professional game more money than most people make in a lifetime. Not because they believed in him as a person, because they'd already run the math, and the math said he was worth it before he ever stepped on a court. Here's the sentence that changes everything. Nike isn't paying for loyalty. Nike is buying a walking, talking, breathing billboard that never turns off. Exposing the real strategy behind big brands. Let's start with the number that should stop you cold. A single iconic athlete endorsement deal can be worth more than an entire year of traditional advertising for most companies. Not because the athlete is more talented than a film crew. Because of what that athlete generates that no commercial ever could. Constant, unpaid, ongoing exposure that never stops running. Here's what most people don't realize. Every time that athlete plays, posts, wins, or even just walks into a stadium wearing the swoosh, Nike gets advertising it never had to schedule, produce, or pay a media network to air. Step 1. Athletes are billboards that move through culture on their own. A TV ad runs for 30 seconds and disappears. An athlete wearing your logo shows up in highlight reels, post-game interviews, magazine covers, social media clips, and casual street photos, for years, without Nike spending another dollar on placement. The logo doesn't advertise itself once. It advertises itself every single time that athlete exists in public. Step 2. The deal isn't about the athlete's current skill. It's about their story. Nike has repeatedly bet enormous money on unproven rookies before they'd achieved anything significant, because a story arc sells more shoes than a stat sheet. An underdog who becomes a legend creates a narrative people want to attach themselves to, and attaching yourself to that narrative means buying the shoes, the jersey, the exact model they wore in the moment everything changed. Step 3. Exclusivity creates demand that money can't easily replicate. When a shoe is tied to a specific athlete's name, it stops being a shoe and becomes a limited emotional artifact. People aren't lining up outside stores at 3 a.m. for cushioning technology. They're lining up to own a piece of a story they watched unfold in real time. Nike isn't selling rubber and fabric. It's selling proximity to greatness. Now here's the number that puts this into real perspective. Signature shoe lines tied to major athletes have been reported to generate revenue in the hundreds of millions annually, sometimes rivaling the entire revenue of smaller competing shoe brands combined. One name, attached to one silhouette, can outproduce an entire company's yearly output. That's not talent being rewarded. That's a calculated bet on cultural gravity. Step 4. The athlete becomes a walking insurance policy against irrelevance. Trends die fast. Companies that rely purely on product design constantly risk becoming outdated the moment culture shifts. But an athlete tied to your brand ages with culture in real time. As they evolve, so does the brand's relevance, without Nike needing to reinvent itself every single season. The athlete isn't just marketing the product. They're future-proofing the entire company's cultural relevance. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but doesn't Nike also just genuinely support these athletes? And sure, support exists. But here's what most people don't realize. The support is structured entirely around performance metrics, social reach, cultural moments, and merchandising potential. Contracts include clauses tied to championships, media appearances, and public visibility, not simply loyalty to the brand's mission. This is a business relationship engineered with the same precision as a financial contract, because that's exactly what it is. Let me give you an example that makes this click. Imagine two companies both spend the exact same marketing budget in a single year. One spends it entirely on traditional ads that run for a few months and then disappear completely from public memory. The other spends it on a single athlete who then generates coverage, conversation, and visibility for years afterward, completely free, every single time they compete, post, or simply exist in the public eye. Same budget, completely different lifespan of value. That's the entire calculation behind these massive contracts. Here's the part that should really change how you see this. Nike isn't emotionally invested in any single athlete. Nike is running a portfolio, the same way an investor spreads money across multiple stocks hoping a few outperform dramatically. Some athlete deals will underperform. Some will become once-in-a-generation cultural phenomena that pay for every underperforming deal combined, many times over. The company isn't betting on people. It's betting on probability, spread across enough athletes that the math eventually works in their favor. So the next time you see an athlete wearing a brand's logo mid-celebration, understand what's actually happening. You're not watching a genuine display of brand loyalty. You're watching a walking advertisement that never clocks out, generating exposure so valuable that hundreds of millions of dollars isn't an overpayment. It's a rounding error compared to what that exposure will generate over the life of the deal. If this changed how you see your next Nike commercial, subscribe, because next time we're breaking down another big brand secretly running a business strategy nobody talks about.